I have a confession to make. I'm a cheater. Not in like a relationship kind of way, but in video games. I use executors, cache editing, every other vulnerability under the sun. And you know what? I will continue cheating. I like it. I'm good at it. In many cases, I think it's more fun than actually playing a game. But because I spend so much of my time on Roblox actively trying to break games, I have gathered quite a lot of knowledge about how to prevent people from breaking my own games. And today I wanted to share some of those tips with you in this awesome how to exploit proof and chud proof your game tutorial. Within reason, there's some things you can't anticipate. Exhibit A, the server client barrier. Here I am in Roblox Studio, right? On the side, you can see the Explorer here. Now we've got two main things here. Server script service and replicated storage. These two things are very important for this game. Because if I go ahead and do something like this, okay? I put a module script inside replicated storage, right? And let's say I put like local hidden code equals hello. This code is now visible to any exploiter who joins this game, right? They will have absolutely no problem finding this code. But if I now move this from replicated storage into server script service, suddenly exploiters are basically incapable of finding this code. Just because I moved it to server script service. Now, the reason for this is because of replication, right? Replicated storage, as the name may suggest, is replicated from the server to the client, to me. Me right here, it is replicated to me. But server script service is not replicated, okay? There are no replicas being created. This module script never touches me here, okay? It runs exclusively on the server. So that is like a very basic thing. If you're making a game, you already know this. I just wanted to start off by getting that out of the way. That's very basic knowledge. You should realistically know this. But this leads me into Exhibit B. Okay, we're gonna get a little bit more complicated now. Remote events. Now, if you don't know what a remote event is, let me put one in replicated storage right now, okay? Remote event. Basically what this does, I'm gonna write a little bit of a dummy script right now, okay? Here we go, server script service. I put a script in server script service, okay? Local remote event equals game.replicated storage.remote event. Okay, or actually let me, okay, there we go. So I'm accessing the remote event. Now, in order for me to use this remote event, I need to actually access the player. So let me get players, game get service players, okay? And then local player, that's our player, equals players get players 1 or players.player added wait, okay? This line of code will give me the player, which in my case is gonna be called Theodoric, right? Because that's the name of my account, that is the name of my player, okay? Now, I'm gonna wait 10 seconds and then I'm gonna fire this remote event, okay? I'm gonna do this, fire client, and for the player, I'm gonna put this, okay? And I'm gonna send a secret code from the server to my client, okay? So, secret code 123 hello, okay? This is what I'm sending to the client. Now, I'm gonna add another script. This time, it will be a script in workspace, and I'm gonna set the run context to client. So this script is going to be replicated to the client, right? Now, I'm gonna literally paste the exact same line of code right here. Remote event, okay? And remote event on connect function. Boom. And now, when this script sends the remote event, it fires the remote event, my client will receive that through the script, okay? And it will print the secret code, okay? That's what we're doing. So I'm gonna click run and I'm gonna open my console and we will see in a second. There we go. Secret code 123 hello, okay? From the server to the client, we have sent this secret code. Now, this is the safest way of hiding your secret codes, right? I'm gonna use my own game as an example here, right? There's secrets in this game, right? Puffing around, for example. You've got the solution here, and this solution is accessible by the client. But the solution for this secret, for example, isn't accessible by the client. I haven't unlocked it. Now, if I just sent the solution to every secret to the client, that would be a problem, obviously, right? Because suddenly the client has access to every single solution in the game, even if you can't see it normally. The client will be able to access every single solution in the game. That can't happen. So what I do, I send through a remote event only the solutions that the player has unlocked. I think that's fair enough. I think that makes sense. There's something I need to show you, okay? I'm gonna remove this print secret code. I'm gonna remove that. The code is not gonna be printed anymore. However, my client will still receive this code, right? It's just that I'm not gonna see that it receives it. I'm gonna publish the game. I'm gonna join the game. Here we go. So, as you can see, my client has not printed out the secret code, but it has been sent to my client. Now, an exploiter, like someone with an executor who is breaking the terms of service of Roblox, is able to use something called remote spy to view this secret code. But we don't even have to break the terms of service in order to see this secret code. And I'm gonna show you how, okay? I'm gonna show you how I am able to see this secret code that is supposed to be secure on the server, but has been sent over to my client. And I'm gonna do it through none other than Task Manager. We are now going over to Exhibit C, Memory Dumps. If you don't know how to create a memory dump, you go into Task Manager, you search up the name of your application that you would like to create a memory dump of, and you click Create Memory Dump File, and it does it. Okay, here we go. So there is now a memory dump on my computer. So here we go. I have created a memory dump of my Roblox file, and I have opened it in Notepad. Makes sense, right? Now, whatever you do, do not ever share this memory dump with anyone. There are a lot of things in this memory dump that you probably would not want getting out, okay? Including your Roblox cookie. So if you send your memory dump to anyone, they can log into your Roblox account, they can do all sorts of things. Just don't send your memory dump to anyone. But now that we have created a memory dump, okay, I can go ahead and press Ctrl F, okay, to find a string, and I'm gonna copy paste this code, secret code 123 hello. I'm gonna copy paste it into my memory dump. And here we go. Within the memory dump, I've had to modify the code a little bit because of the underscores, whatever. Just, okay, sorry, the technical difficulties. But point is, I sent the code over from the server to the client without it ever being displayed on my screen or anywhere in console, whatever, right? And yet, here is the code right here in its entirety. So, you're probably seeing my point now. If anything in your game is at any point made to be available to the client, it will show up in a memory dump. So, I'm gonna give you another example. Let's say that I add a sign to my game, right? Here we go. Add a secret sign right below the base plate. And I put some new secret code 1. New secret code 1. Okay, I put this on the sign. Okay, I have created a new memory dump file. And there we go. Our secret code is in the memory dump. Even though I'm literally at spawn, I haven't even loaded that sign in yet, right? Every single sign that is currently in the game is visible in this memory dump. Even though I haven't seen it. It's not on my screen. I haven't seen this secret code. So, how do you prevent this, right? There are a couple ways of preventing this. The first way, probably the easiest way, is this right here, 3D Text Maker. Now, okay, I'm not saying that I recommend using 3D Text Maker. If you use 3D Text Maker, your game just kind of looks free-modeled. It looks cheap, but you can do this, right? This is not gonna show up in the memory dump in any reasonable way. You can use bricks instead of signs to keep them from appearing in a memory dump. However, this is kind of a half-assed solution because an actual exploiter, right, with an executor can simply download a file of your game and they will just find this text anyways, right? So what the actual best way of keeping an exploiter from finding your sign is to just not load it until it is absolutely necessary. Ultimately, it's up to you how you do this, right? Maybe if the sign is like in a zone in your game, then you can only make it appear on the client once the player has entered that zone. That is one way of doing it. And it is important to note as well that text is not the only thing that is vulnerable to being found in Roblox memory, okay? Images are visible, meshes are visible, right? Textures of your character are visible in memory. So the point is, with this whole exhibit, only load stuff in your game when the player absolutely needs to see it. If you want to keep something secret, you cannot at any point let the client access that thing. You can't. Or else people will just find the image, the string, the mesh, the whatever, okay? They will download a copy of your game and they will find it. However, there is one thing in particular that exploiters who can download a place file of your game can't actually see, oddly enough. And that thing is localization tables. Okay? Localization tables in Roblox. They're used to inform the game how to translate strings in your game. Say we've got a sign, right? We write hello, right? And then a Spanish-speaking player joins the game. They will see this sign as hola. I think that makes sense. Roblox will automatically translate the sign. To do that, they have to use a localization table. Now, because this translation is happening client side, the client needs to know the translation of every string as well as the source string. So it needs to know hello and it needs to know hola. Now I'm going to show you real quick how a localization table looks, right? We've got a source text, okay, Arctic Penguin, and the translation is null because it's already the correct language, but there would be a translation here if there was a translation, okay? And this is a massive long file of every single string in a given game that you get this localization table from. Now this is done using a tool known as blocksdump. Right here, blocksdump, you use blocksdump to get a localization table from a game. So if you want to check if your game has translation data, if your game has a localization table with revealing stuff about the game, then you can use blocksdump. But ideally what we want from a localization table is for it to look like this. Literally one line, absolutely nothing happening, not a single string in this localization table. How do you do this? How do you remove all of the strings in your game from the localization table? Well, I'll tell you how, because it's not obvious. Roblox does not tell you. They do not make this obvious. What we're gonna have to do, I have pulled up the page for my game, tutorial, it's called. I scroll down, I go to localization, table management or settings, and automatic text capture. This will be automatically enabled in your game. This will be enabled, right? When this is enabled, there will be stuff here. But if you disable it, this stuff, all of this stuff that is here, should disappear. There shouldn't be anything here. However, unfortunately for you, that is not enough. There is a way to circumvent this. Now, the method for circumventing this is not a public thing, so I will not add fuel to the fire by making it public. But the way you can prevent that whole circumvention is by going into every single sign in your game, okay? Every single sign, every last one. And under localization, you disable auto-localize. You disable it on every single string in your game, and then it should be properly impossible to find in one of these localization tables. That should be fine. As far as I know, if I now put a secret code, I put a secret code, right? I put secret code 123 on this sign. I put this sign in server storage, which is never replicated to the client. There is absolutely no way that someone will be able to find it. There's just no way, right? An exploiter should not be able to get this server storage thing. So now you know how to protect yourself against localization tables. But how do you prevent yourself from exploiters in general? I'm kind of gonna come back to Exhibit B for a second here, okay? Remote events, they go two ways. So remote event dot on server events. So this is when a client fires a remote event to the server. We listen to it. Now, what we can do, we can detect the player that has fired this remote event, okay? A regular player can never fire a remote event of their own will. Only exploiters can willfully fire a remote event. What you can do is, okay, here we go. So, whenever an exploiter fires this remote event, they ban themselves. The game will just automatically ban them from the game. Now, I'm gonna quickly demonstrate to you how this works. So, here we go. I'm using a script, right? I'm gonna simulate what an exploiter does here. So I join the game, And now I would fire the remote event with my executor. I would simulate a remote event firing. Oh, my bad. Hold on. I forgot to include the user IDs. Here we go. I add the player to the ban thing. And now, let's pretend I'm an exploiter, right? And I fire that remote event with my executor. There we go. I have been kicked by this experience or its moderators. And I am banned. Permanently, I am banned from this game now. So, what we could do, we could like award badge, right? We could call this remote event award badge or something. You don't necessarily have to ban the player outright. Okay, what you could do, you could just like write a line of code here which, I don't know, adds them to a blacklist of some sort. So you don't have to tell the exploiter that they have been banned from the game in any way. You can just blacklist them from getting any badges, you can just blacklist them from getting whatever it is in your game, right? And that's actually better than if you were to ban them outright, because if you ban them, that tells them, okay, let me not fire that remote. But if you don't tell them that they've been banned, they won't know what they did wrong, and they will not be able to counter it on an alt account or anything else, okay? Or well, it'll be much harder for them to counter it anyways. So far, I have shown you how to protect yourself against localization tables, okay? Hidden codes in your game being in localization tables. I've shown you how to protect yourself against memory dumps. That includes images in your game, meshes in your game, and most importantly, text in your game. I have also shown you how to set up a honeypot for exploiters to potentially catch them in the act, okay? To ban them from the game. When they try to fire your remote events, you just ban them. And I have also shown you the very basics of how to not put sensitive info about your game on the client. You put all of the sensitive info on the server. However, there is one thing that is much more dangerous than anything that I have mentioned so far. Exhibit E, other engine vulnerabilities. Now, to put it bluntly, there is no way to avoid these. Roblox is a game platform with occasional vulnerabilities. People will find ways to exploit the systems that Roblox has put in place, and they will use them maliciously. They will use them to do things which Roblox does not intend players to do. I'm gonna show you a pretty funny clip here. Let me just find it. I've got a Twitter post here, right? Where some guy is saying, I got a report about this in my game, scrambled thinking I had a backdoor, turns out it was a Roblox bug that allowed people to run server-side code. And then you can see this clip of someone in his game turning themselves into prima donna and just absolutely annihilating everything. This was a vulnerability that Roblox pays people out thousands of dollars for finding. There is no way to protect yourself against this. Essentially, what this allows them to do is to run scripts like these, right? Which means they could ban anyone they want from the game. They could modify their data in any way they want. They could do absolutely anything in your game that you can imagine, and there's nothing you can do about it. Actually, pretty funny thing. I had to open source my game recently because of this. Someone found a vulnerability that allowed them to download private models. Models that only you, as the developer, should be able to access. They were able to access these models through a Roblox vulnerability, and then that vulnerability got reported. Someone got paid out thousands of dollars, real-life dollars for it. Roblox patched the vulnerability, but the harm was already done. Someone had downloaded the game files of my game, and in an effort to put everyone on equal footing, I had to just post these files that this person got to my Discord server because I wanted to put everyone on equal footing, okay? I didn't want these exploiters that discovered this vulnerability to have an advantage in my game, so I gave everyone the same files that they had. I think that's fair enough. But yeah. Zero-day vulnerabilities, server-side vulnerabilities, you can't do anything about them, right? That is the only type of exploit that you really cannot do anything to protect yourself against. You can't anticipate them, you can't do anything. So, if there is a server-side exploit, you better hope the people who know about it don't have any grudges against you, or else you're cooked. But now you know, whether you're a game developer looking to secure your game, or maybe just a curious player who's gonna use the information in this video to ruin the life of a poor game developer, I hope this video helped. And if there's anything you want to add that I didn't say in this video, make sure to leave a comment. You know, despite the wacky tone, I do genuinely hope this video can be a learning resource for people who need it. And maybe everyone can make their games more secure as a result of this video. That is what I hope. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to making terrible unindicated cipher puzzles. Thank you for watching.